Lawsuit was filed against Utah's lieutenant governor to block him from putting it up before voters on the November ballot. But supporters of the medical cannabis initiative say this lawsuit is offensive.
I don't think this has been attempted in any other state, using your religion to take it off the ballot.
The Utah Patients Coalition says it will jump into the lawsuit filed by opponents of the medical marijuana ballot initiative that's seeking to block Proposition 2 from going on the November ballot. The lawsuit makes a religious freedom argument. It notes the LDS Church is a dominant presence in Utah and says they have a constitutional right to exercise their religious beliefs. This includes the right not to consort with, be around, or do business with people engaging in activities which their religion finds repugnant, and to refuse to lease their property to people engaging in activities which they deeply oppose.
It's not just the LDS Church, it's any religion. I don't think anyone is in favor of smoking whole plant marijuana in apartments.
This is the gentleman who is spending $100,000. Well, that was his first disclosure to fight medical marijuana in Utah. You heard it. He's saying that their religion finds basically medical marijuana to be repugnant, and that they wouldn't, basically want to engage in any kind of business activities or lease property to people engaging in activities which they deeply oppose. Which, citing this cake case in Colorado is a real stretch for this case. But I mean, whatever. What's this guy saying again?
It's not just the LDS Church, it's any religion. I don't think anyone is in favor of smoking whole plant marijuana in apartments.
I have to talk about this every once in a while because we keep running into this situation where churches, church groups, representatives of different churches that come together and make a statement or invest money to fight legalization always act like they have some kind of say in this debate. I don't understand it. Could someone enlighten me why religion is against cannabis, especially medical marijuana? It's a plant, so if you believe in God, then here's something that your God has given you the ability to cultivate that is actual medicine. You're going to tell me that you're a religious person and that you don't accept medicine made by the person that you think is the creator of the universe? Is there somewhere in the Bible that specifically talks about marijuana and prohibits it? I know there's not. There's not in the Bible. There's not in the Torah, the Quran, any other holy book that you can find. Never has there been a holy book ever that has any text in it that would lead anyone to believe that there's a religious objection in their holy book and a reason why they should say that cannabis is bad. And once in a while you'll hear, some evangelical Christian people talking about how, the body is the temple. And then if you use marijuana, then therefore you are abusing the temple or disrespecting the temple or something to that effect. Which is garbage, because cannabis is completely 100% natural. Everything that it affects in the body is a system inside your body called the endocannabinoid system. It's specifically designed to aid in immunal functions and other things that is natural healing properties. That's what we know about it. So you would have to be completely in ignorance to have a religious objection. So far as I know, there's just absolutely nothing that no other excuse. It's just totally ignorance. If someone told him just what I just said there, and he didn't accept that as fact, then he's just being I don't know. That's a whole other thing. We'd have to talk about that, but. On its face, it just looks like total ignorance. But this guy's fighting tooth and nail, and let's see what else is going on.
Utah's lieutenant governor to block him from putting it up before voters on the November ballot, but supporters of the medical cannabis initiative say this lawsuit is offensive.
I don't think this has been attempted in any other state, using your religion to take it off the ballot.
The Utah Patients Coalition says it will jump into the lawsuit filed by opponents of the medical marijuana ballot initiative that's seeking to block Proposition 2 from going on the November ballot. The lawsuit makes a religious freedom argument. It notes the LDS Church is a dominant presence in Utah and says they have a constitutional right to exercise their religious beliefs. This includes the right not to consort with, be around, or do business.
Hold on. First of all, you got to slow down there, Mr. Fox 13 guy. There's a whole lot wrong with what you've already said. First of all, you do not have the right. There's not a constitutional right for religions to exercise their religious beliefs, as in like over the overarching population. Is that what you're trying to say with that first sentence? In the United States of America, members of all religions, including the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, have a constitutional right to exercise their religious beliefs. That's true. You have the right inside your little building, away from everybody else, not in the public square for sure. You have the right to do whatever you want. You can worship Satan. You should, Allah, whatever. You could create a church of the spaghetti monster and go there and worship that. But you can't impose your religious beliefs or values, so be it, as it may be, on the rest of the population. So if your religion says, hey, you're not allowed to eat, chicken on Tuesday, that's cool. You can follow that all you want. You can tell your followers to obey it, and they can obey it if they want, or whatever. You can have penalties for it. Whatever you want to do. I don't think you can have penalties for it, though. That might not be a thing. But anyway, you can do that, but you can't tell somebody that doesn't care about that anything about that. So let's just get that cleared up right now. You don't have the right. So from what I understand, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, they don't even allow you to drink Coca-Cola or coffee or smoke cigarettes. Seemingly benign substances. Well, cigarettes aren't. But, as far as like what the public is accepted, if you're not allowed to drink Coca-Cola, let's just use that one. So that's cool. Now, so if you wasn't a Mormon and you worked at a Mormon place where it was like a Mormon actual place, like a church or something that has to do with the church or whatever, and they just didn't have a Coke machine, what are you going to do about it? There's nothing you can do about that. But if you live in Utah and you go to the corner store and they don't have Coke, then you start thinking there might be a problem. But that's not how it is. When you go to McDonald's in Salt Lake City, you can get a fucking Coke. And there is a McDonald's, which if your religion prohibits people from drinking Coca-Cola, you shouldn't even allow anybody to eat anything on McDonald's menu. And maybe I should be using Arby's here. Who knows? Let's just go look at the rest of this, by the way. This includes the right not to consort with, be around, or do business with people that engage in activities with their religious finds repugnant. Okay, again, that's totally cool at your places or at your business discretion. So if you're a real estate agent and you don't want to rent to somebody who's going to have a marijuana business, that's totally your right, and it doesn't even matter, you can do that on anything. Apparently, according to that Supreme Court ruling, that is a pretty good loose interpretation. And by the way, that Supreme Court ruling, there's a lot of confusion about that. It wasn't like they said, yes, you have the right not to bake a cake for gay people. That's not even what it was about. It was about the right of an artist to refuse to do a certain project because it would be kind of like an endorsement in effect. Or they don't want to have to do something that's against their belief structure, and it isn't even a religious argument from what I understand, the judgment. It was just based on the fact that, you know, if somebody finds something to be totally not what they want to be putting their name stamp on as something that they created, then they don't have to do it. And that's I like the ruling in that regard. That's reasonable. But the misinterpretation of the ruling is kind of, it goes all over the place, and it's ridiculous. And it's funny how people that are the churchy people think it's some big win for them. Like, oh, we have the right to put "In God We Trust" in schools and 10 Commandments at the town hall and shit. No, that's not what that ruling meant. And as far as this goes, you're right. You have the right not to consort with or do anything, but that doesn't mean you have the right to tell everybody in Utah that they're not allowed to consort with or do business with or engage in activities with somebody that wants to do legal medical marijuana business or activities or consorting or whatever else you're talking about. And this whole idea that you call this repugnant, what even is that? Why'd you have to throw that word in there on a legal document? And it's highly offensive. You're talking about sick people here. You're repugnant for saying that. We're talking about people, you know, there's people that have seizures, and there was just a 12-year-old girl that just died because of this Dravet's. So, you know, the more availability and access to whole plant medical marijuana, THC included, that we have, the less of this is going to happen. The more, you know, the less likely anybody's ever going to have a situation where, you know, they don't have access to medical marijuana when it was needed. So it's pretty callous to call us repugnant. And finally, to lease their property to engage in activities which they deeply oppose. That's fine. That's fine. Like if somebody said, hey, I want to rent your warehouse so I can set up a porno studio and shoot porno all day in there, you could refuse that too. And if someone said they wanted to set up a cake shop to bake non-gay cakes in there, you could refuse that too. That's totally, like, I don't think that needs a Supreme Court ruling to even go there. But you can't overextend that to the whole state of Utah. You just can't.
With people engaging in activities which their religion finds repugnant, and to refuse to lease their property to people engaging in activities which they deeply oppose.
It's not just the LDS Church, it's any religion. I don't think anyone is in favor of smoking whole plant marijuana in apartments.
And again, I'm in favor of smoking whole plant marijuana in apartments or wherever else, but I've seen where medical marijuana and regular marijuana use was legalized, and they're giving landlords a lot of freedom to basically boot people if they don't like it. And then you have the HUD situation where even in states where medical marijuana is legal, people with medical marijuana cards and such are getting having problems with HUD housing because of the federal ban on marijuana. So, you know, this is all, again, this is nothing new. It's just someone ringing bells and trying to be an alarmist. And it's just absurd. Like, who cares how people use their medical marijuana? Some people are going to use whole plant marijuana and smoke it, whatever. Some people are going to eat it. Some people are juicing it. Some people are, I mean, there's just any number of ways to administer medical marijuana depending on what's going on with you. You know, topical. You're a doctor. I mean, he kind of just looks like one of those sinister, like, evil mad scientists from like a sci-fi horror movie or something that's in some lab developing some super virus that's going to kill everybody in the planet. But I don't know. The guy, he ain't making much sense.
Who is?
Walter Plum III is one of the plaintiffs. He's been a backer of opposition efforts against Proposition 2.
I'm a Christian, and I'm against this.
He keeps bringing religion up, and of course religion is the whole basis of this lawsuit. So this is officially the big stamp of the Mormon Church being against medical marijuana. Just to be clear about that, just so we know where they stand on that. All right. I mean, in case anybody didn't know. And this is like I said, this is an all-natural plant, unadulterated, that you can just grow, and it was given to us at the, with all the other plants, and however you believe in how all that happened, whether you believe in the Bible or any other number of religions or books or whatever. I mean, we had the Catholic Church spend almost $1 million opposing marijuana legalization in Massachusetts in 2016. $835,000 that could have been better spent on all kinds of other things, like maybe training some priests that aren't raping boys. So, and when it comes to the Mormon Church, I really don't have any position on whether I like or whatever when it comes to the Mormon Church or the Mormon people. I've met a few Mormon people throughout my life, and they're really nice people, and I don't have a problem with their overall persona. But when it comes down to is religion as a whole, to me, I can say a lot of things about it, and I don't want to lose subscribers over it or whatever, but I'm just going to say this about the Mormon religion, is it's kind of absurd, man. Like, you're already believing this John Smith guy, and I've read some stories about this, how the religion started, so I'm highly skeptical of it. I'm highly skeptical of all religion, so it's a whole new channel or whatever if you want me to talk about that. But what it comes down to is the First Amendment does not give religions the freedom to overextend their value system or rules or laws that they have within their church or cult or whatever they got to the overall rest of society. The fact that he said, Mormons, we're over here in Utah like it's their home base. Everybody knows that. It's no secret. But there's still a lot of people in Utah that aren't Mormons, all right? A lot. And they don't care about what you're talking about. They made this ballot initiative. It got enough signatures to make the damn ballot. And now we're having an election in November, and people are going to vote on that. They don't care about your hurt feelings, dude. They don't care if this hurts your feelings. They don't care if you don't think medical marijuana is a real legit thing. They don't care that your religion is like some kind of has a home base in Utah. And there's sick people that need medical marijuana right now in Utah. And when they hear you acting like you're some kind of religious philanthropist or whatever you call yourself, I'm deeply Mormon and I care about people. Why would you oppose their medicine? Why would you sue the government to try to stop it from becoming a law? And essentially, why would you want to lock them up for using their medicine? Because all medical marijuana is a bunch of, laws that protect people for using medical marijuana. It is absurd that you would be opposing it and claim some kind of a religious, moral high ground objective to it. I just can't understand you. You are a total insane lunatic, a psychopath.
Against marijuana. I'm against whole plant marijuana. I'm not against the extracts such as CBD oil that may help people or the FDA approved marijuana products.
Support.
So there you have it. That's all you need to know. He's I don't know what you want to call it, like a Hillary Clinton style Schedule 2 fan of the FDA and the FDA's processes to approve marijuana products. And we've seen what they're doing so far with the pure CBD only extract. I don't know how much that's really going to help people, because from what I understand, pure CBD isn't really enough to like bring somebody to the point where they have a lot less seizures in the seizure treatment. But when it comes to all other things that I know of to use CBD for, you need more than just CBD. I mean, it's not the wonder drug that whoever got that patent wants you to think it is. And to charge like $32,000 a year, oh, of course this guy's not against that. I've never met anybody in any religion that's against making dollars, which is also highly suspicious. But anyway, so again, come on, man, really? Where's the compassion there? Where's anything? That's just like, you know, you've seen, well, maybe he don't, because his turning a blind eye to actual medical marijuana success stories, if you will. I don't know, man. It's just totally lack of compassion. But to take the position where you're like, well, you know, CBD's cool and that don't get you high, that's why. Because a lot of the thing is with religious objection to marijuana, and I understand this. This is the same reason why the authoritative figures object to it. It's the same reason why parents don't like it. It's the same reason why school teachers and administrators don't like it. Because marijuana makes you think. That's why it doesn't really fit into the paradigm of this whole like, oh, drug addicts, marijuana, drug addicts, marijuana, drug addicts. Addiction is like one of these things that you don't really, it's like you want to crawl into a hole and escape reality. Marijuana is not the thing that, like, you know, exactly like shuts your brain off so you can like escape reality. That's kind of like not marijuana. I don't know how better to explain it. Sorry about all the likes. So, I don't know. It's just, we're talking about somebody that doesn't understand anything about what cannabis can do medicinally or what the buzz is, but they know that when people smoke it, they all of a sudden start looking with a critical eye at what they're doing.
Supporters of medical marijuana say the lawsuit is offensive.
To call these medical patients repugnant, these people that are in some of the most dire and desperate medical situations in their lives, we find particularly distasteful.
The LDS Church declined to comment on the lawsuit. So did Lieutenant Governor Spencer Cox's office.
The majority of LDS members support our ballot initiative. So for them to cloak themselves in this self-righteousness that they have, that they can't support this because of their LDS beliefs, I think is extremely and unnecessarily divisive.
And bingo. See, I hate to keep talking about religion while I make these videos about these religious objectors to cannabis legalization or the ending prohibition or whatever, because people always end up in the comment section talking about, oh man, I'm Mormon and blah, 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 and you just diss my whole religion, and I'm actually for this. And you know what? I'm sorry if I dissed your whole religion or whatever. That's just me. Like I said, that's a whole nother channel, which I don't do, but I could. But I mean, I'm just a skeptic, all right? And when I'm a skeptic, I'm highly skeptical of, it seems like the newer a religion is, the more skeptical I am of it. Call me crazy. But anyway, back to the point is, yeah, like, I don't mean to cast aside everything about your religion just because of this issue, and I don't mean to throw you in the boat with your religious leaders, like the bishops that got together for the Arizona thing to oppose it, and the California thing, and then you had like the Mormons here that keep doing this, or the Catholics in Massachusetts that were opposing. So, you know, I could say something about every one of those, and I can sit here and question why they have this opposition. But I'm not talking about the members, because by and large, when it comes to social issues in general, I am always under the assumption that the flock of followers isn't, you know, as crazy fervent as these religious leaders out there are beating the the pulpit with, all they're out there doing these fiery sermons and telling you about all this stuff. I've listened to them from time to time just to check in and see what's going on. And the objection to marijuana is vast and deep, and it has almost a whole growth of a new kind of reefer madness attached to it. And it isn't reflected in the people that go to the church. I understand that. So please don't pepper my comment section with pushback as far as that goes, because I'm not saying, when I say the Mormon church opposing this is hypocrisy, there's no doubt that that's true. But at the same time, I'm not talking about the people that are sitting in the pews. All right? I'm not talking about them people. I'm talking about the people that are behind the scenes, writing the policies, the Mitt Romneys, the upper echelon people. And that's with all religions, and they all oppose marijuana. And it's like I said, it's for the same reason. It's because the critical thinking, they don't like it. That's all there is to it.
Now, Plum tells me he plans to go to a judge to ask for a temporary restraining order to block Proposition 2 from the ballot. He's already planning to amend his lawsuit, dropping one of the opposition groups known as Drug Safe Utah from the lawsuit and adding a newly formed group in opposition to the ballot initiative. That one is called Truth About Prop 2. Live on the Hill, Ben Winslow, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Well, there's different people have different reactions to that guy. I thought this was kind of funny. I'm going to play this and then we'll be out of here.
This is the group's second lawsuit to keep the proposal off the ballot this November. The person leading this is Walter Plum III, and you will hear his case in the next video.
It's not just the LDS Church, it's any religion. I don't think anyone is in favor of smoking whole plant marijuana in apartments. Who is? I'm a Christian, and I'm against this. I'm against marijuana. I'm against whole plant marijuana. I'm not against the extracts such as CBD oil that may help people.
Okay, I'd like to just say two quick things. One is, I'm for the whole plant. I'm a whole planter.
All of it.
Okay?
Seeds, stem.
I'm a whole planter myself. All right, guys, that's all I got on this crazy shit. We'll be following it. If you want to check back in later, I'm sure there will be an update on this. But more or less, hopefully this gets thrown right out